skip his text, and then again, this is going back to that shadow needs to touch flat ground thing. So we are gonna do, it's basically backflip, and then flap away from the mountain to touch flat ground, or to have your shadow touch flat ground. And then when you come back, you're gonna do a double jump, so tap A twice. Then you want to hit B to do a roll. During that roll, you want to hold Z and then press A to do a backflip. And then you want to move as far up as possible on the mountain, and then you want to press Z again to do a ground pound. It sounds ridiculous right now, but it's once you. What I would do is I would just do the first part. Like I would just say, okay, backflip, and then do this. Okay, like I can do that. Like this is easy. And then build on it and say, okay, now I'm gonna do a backflip, and then I'm gonna go double jump, and then slide down. Like okay, and then now I'm gonna do it all. So I'm gonna go this, double jump, roll, backflip, ground pound, get the jiggy. All right. There's a little trick you can do there that I kind of messed up, but nothing to worry about. Okay, so here's a cool little thing you can do. When you enter Talon Trot, your hitbox changes slightly. So what that means is that if you, right as the animation starts, if you're in the right spot, like if I'm just barely not in the entrance, obviously you don't want to do this like the way I'm doing it now, because that'd be super slow, because it saves like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a second, maybe less, but you can do this a decent amount of times in the run. So if you enter Talon Trot when you're right in the right spot, here I'll just do it that way I can. But I messed it up. But yeah, basically it's called like just like a Talon Trot skip as you enter the next zone. So it's just a precise little thing. You have to be in the right spot, and then when you enter Talon Trot, it'll immediately go into the next room. And all it does is it just skips the time that you would have to do the Talon Trot. That's all it does. Okay, in this room, you just want to hold down and then just press A. Make sure you hold A on that. That's like it. People like to change the camera. Just hold down the whole time and you'll get into the spot. And then here you just want to do some platforming. And then a lot of people, I don't even know if this is faster anymore because I saw Steve not do it, but it probably is. You just, when you jump here, you want to rat-tat out and then land on the chest and then fall in, instead of just doing Talon Trot into the chest. Whoops. Sorry, that was a problem. Grab that. Embarrassing. Okay. Wow, it took me a long time to go through Mumbos, I feel. Alright, so here you can either enter Talon Trot and grab these, but that's slightly harder. Most people just grab all of them like this and then go into Talon Trot. And now we're gonna jump from here all the way into the entrance to the ship here. Just like that. Okay, here you want to hold down B to swim, obviously, but the more important part is you want to hold down R, which I'm doing, so that you can make tight turns to grab all this stuff. Else you really can't do that room at any, like, fast at all. Okay. Okay, here there's Leaky Skip. There's actually a slightly faster route now. If you're interested, it's you want to grab these four, and then these 4 notes, and then you come up here from this corner and you shoot the eggs right about here. But then it's harder to get over to bottles and talk to them before the cutscene starts, which is hence it's called Leaky Skip. I don't know why it's called Leaky Skip, because you don't skip Leaky at all, but yeah. You might just want to feel this out yourself, but for me, I feel that right about here is good with, like, this angle. I don't know. And then you want to talk to Bottles, please. I didn't get it. Basically, you want to talk to Bottles as soon as possible afterwards. And then... Nope. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm doing, it's just... Yeah, see. That's Leaky for you. The problem is that he bounces up and down and he moves a little bit, so it's kind of... I don't know. So sometimes you'll feel like your spot that you usually get it at is, like, not very consistent. You can get it consistent, though, it's just kind of precise. I don't know. Skip all this text. 3 text boxes. And now, there's a Mumbo token here. Immediately afterwards, we're gonna flap off and then do a ground pound into this. And then there's another Talon Trot skip where you, right before you fall in, you want to enter Talon Trot. Here, I'm going to do a quick dive, which is slide, and then as you fall off, let go Z. And that's how you do a quick dive again. I probably won't explain the quick dives from now on. I'll just say that when I'm gonna do them, so you understand, and then, yeah. Here, it's possible to have Blubber in a position where you can be right on top of the Jiggy during the cutscene, and it'll save a few seconds, so. But it's RNG based, so just depends on where he's gonna be, and he's in different places every round. Okay, flying is probably, like, if you've gotten this far in the tutorial and you feel like you're pretty good at the run so far, TTC is literally gonna destroy you for a little while until you understand how to fly correctly. It's kind of annoying at first. The main tip I can give you is that holding R will make sharp turns possible, and get used to holding up and down and the differences that they make, because if you hold up, then Banjo will kind of dive and kind of move towards where you're going faster. Not really, but I don't know. Like, I just mean that, like, if there's an object beneath you that you want to get, you can go down, you'll kind of, like, precisely dive at it. And then if there's something another alternative would be if you want to kind of slowly aim at it, you can do this, but it just kind of, it just depends on the situation. You'll see as the run goes on. So yeah, it's just something to pay attention to, and I'm going to basically slow myself down by holding down before I grab this music note. So here it is. I'm gonna slow myself down by holding down a little bit until I'm kind of in the right spot, and then press A right before I touch the ground. If you miss that music note, it's not that big of a deal. I'll show you what you do. Here you want to hold down to grab the Jiggy, and then as soon as you grab it, you want to press A so that you don't touch the ground there. Again, touching the ground in either of those spots will waste a lot of time. Turn and then flap up here. And now I'm going to be doing a Jiggy animation skip by getting the Jiggy while I'm flying, which is just, it's kind of just, you have to get used to how many flaps it takes. And then you want to hold up so that you kind of lunge towards the Jiggy, if that makes any sense. Okay, so then here, get the witch switch. Oh yeah, been streaming, it's 9 months long now, that's cool. Yeah. Fall down here, I like to land right on this one so that I can just grab these two and then just go on my way. If you missed that one music note and you kept flying and you went into the chest Jiggy, this is where you would go into to grab that one music note. So you have to remember to grab it. Obviously, if you miss it then and you jump down here, it's kind of run over. There's a faster strat to do this now, where you fall down the mountain. Like, you fall, and then you slide the mountain, and then you take damage, and then you come over here. And if you want to see that, 615 or Stivs runs will have it now. Okay. So pay attention to the camera here. I mean, I guess if you want to do it slow, you can, but basically what I do is I alternate between spamming A and spamming the camera right, and so that you can kind of keep the camera aligned while you keep doing it. Alright. This is a big problem with people who are starting the game, or actually, for most people anyway. These stairs can be really annoying. The best tip I can give you is that right as you're falling to when you're here and you're still in the air, you want to hold down R to make sure you can align your camera as best as possible. And then, when you go into Talon Trot, your camera will be just perfect, so you can just go straight up. And then come over here, go up these as well. And now this one's tricky because you have to adjust your camera very quickly, so sometimes it doesn't really line up correctly. Did a quick dive there. But yeah, that's the stairs. Oops. Oh, thanks, Paco-chan. Okay. If that crab's giving you trouble, you can kill him. Also, you can, if you're low on health, like let's say you have, I would say if you have 3 health or lower, you would want to grab that. You can barely see it because it's the draw distance is bad. The honeycomb thing there, grab a few. Reason being is because Snackers, we're about to be by Snackers and he might take some health. Also, then when you do the Nippers Skip cutscene thing, always it can kill you. This is honestly one of like the biggest run killers for people who will be starting the game. If you want to restart your run after this, I would suggest that if you miss it, you just go to the left and go around and go up the stairs again. But once you start to get better and you can't accept that really, yeah, you have to get good at this. Basically, you're gonna wanna be right up against the wall, and then right as you're about to leave the wall section to go into like the open section where the Jiggy is, you want to hold forward for a little bit. If you hold forward too much, you're going to touch the ground. If you hold forward too little, you're not going to grab the Jiggy. So you did want to hold forward the correct amount, which is, you know, you just have to get good at. So, and of course I choked because I started the screen, or I put the start screen on, so I just didn't really know my forward momentum. Also, I'm just bad at games. Also, I'm trying to read chat. What are you guys saying? Well, at least it didn't land, right? Landing would waste a ton of time there. Alright, so you want to ground pound, and then you want to come over here. And then you can do a quick dive here, like so. Snackers sometimes can get you. If you are on emulator, Snackers 95% of the time will get you right there. I don't know, he gets there faster on emulator, don't ask me why. So, yeah. You want to come up on the top of this shell, and then as you fall in, the cutscene will start, and also text will come up. Normally, you would press L, R, and B to skip the text, but this is going to help you metric, like, oh my gosh, it helped me so much when Stiv told me this. For some reason, for this text, you only have to press B to skip it. The reason that is important is because when you do L, R, and B, a lot of the times, your camera will reverse around, and then it makes it so that you won't clip in to Nippers, and then you'll take damage from them, and then you have to kill them the normal way, and it wastes time. So, wow, I've never even heard this music before. This is funny. So you're basically gonna drop in, and you're gonna press B to skip the text. Oh my gosh. We did it. Okay, cool. Okay. That was actually really bad because my camera angle was wrong there. In here, you can grab this Jiggy if you know where it is before you even see it. Just kind of like, if you jump in the right area, you can grab it. Although the RNG with that crabs can cause problems, and if you have 2 or less health, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest going in there and then waiting for the crabs to come over and then ground pounding on them. Okay. So pay attention to the camera angles here. I'm pressing camera angles to basically help which way I'm looking during a lot of those parts. I mean, obviously you'll get used to the camera angles, but it just, like I tapped twice for after that arrow, and then it just depends on the situation, but... Here you want to flap once, and then immediately hold down, and then double flap out, so that you can get this jiggy here. With that timing, it's kind of weird. Basically, as soon as you grab the Mumbo token that was in the air, then you want to start diving. Not immediately, but almost immediately. You just have to get used to it. If you dive too early, you won't be able to grab all 3 notes, and if you dive too late, you won't grab any of the notes because you'll be too far away. Okay, so now that we got 3 health right now, which is fine. There is another Mumbo token you can grab, right there, but please, but you don't have to grab it. It's not part of the route anymore. All right. You always want to shoot multiple eggs there. For some reason, if you shoot 1 egg, a lot of the times he won't. It won't break the treasure guy. I don't know why, but that's the way I've felt about it, so I always do too. And then on the top of that roof there, you wouldn't have to leave Talon Trot if you made the jump good. But because I wasn't going to make it up, still being in Talon Trot, I had to use the B button to do a rat-tat-tat out. And for this route, you're basically just spelling Banjo-Kazooie. Actually, I'm doing it wrong. I'm gonna actually leave and go back so that I can do the better way that saves, like, I think a second. That way you guys know what's up with that. So, instead of getting that A right there, there's now a newer way where you go here, and then you do, N, and then you do... Okay. Yeah. It's funny because I've been playing the game for over a year now, and so... I'm really used to the old way, so I still do it sometimes. Because I did that for like 10 months. Okay. So, this is a very interesting part. I'm gonna be doing a Deathwork here. If you roll into this crab twice, he will flip over, which means that he won't be able to move around, so you can control where he's going to be. If he's moving around, he may hit you when you don't want him to and you die or something, so it's suggested that you just roll into him twice to flip him over. Take damage until you have 1 health, which is why you don't want to have lots of health right now, because it'll waste time. And then once you have 1 health, you want to walk into him right underneath where the Jiggy is, which is right where he is. And because you have invincibility frames, you'll be okay for just a little bit. And then if you jump, as long as you jump up fast enough and then you ground pound, you'll grab the Jiggy, and then as you fall, you'll die. And that would mean that you can skip the last Jiggy animation, which is really long actually, because you have that 4-second Jiggy animation, and then after that 4-second animation, you have another longer one that's celebrating the fact that you got all 10 Jiggies for that world. Okay, so... roll into him twice, flip him over. Have 1 health, walk in, jump, ground pound, dead. Okay. Now here you want to enter Talon Trot. It's just kind of like a... When you leave this zone, if you're in Talon Trot, it saves a little time because you can just start going to the next area. Like, you'll see that I'm already way far away from the thing right away, because I was in Talon Trot, so it's suggested that you're in Talon Trot when you leave.